What is the best country for you to move to? What's the best city within that country for you to move to? Today, I am going to talk about this and share my thoughts on the topic. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, welcome. Each week I upload a video about life abroad, moving abroad, or finding the confidence and courage to live life on your terms. If that sounds like something that is of interest to you, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. My name is Patricia Brooks, and just about 6 years ago, I left my job in the United States and I moved to the south of France. I really wasn't sure what was waiting for me here, but I knew I had to get here. And I chose Perpignan as the place that I wanted to move to. And the country was pretty clear, the city was pretty clear for me. But I know a lot of people struggle in finding the right place for them to move abroad to. And I wanted to give you some thoughts on that. Now, this is going to be a ride-along/walk-along video. I took a trip to Castelnau, a very, very beautiful village, not too far from me. And so I wanted to share some of those highlights. Enjoy the view. This past week, I've seen a couple of videos about what's the best place to move to in France. And they have been pretty specific, down to, Paris or Nice or the Nice area, but not Bordeaux. And I was like, what's wrong with Bordeaux? I know some people who really want to move to Bordeaux. I know some people who live in Bordeaux and enjoy it. So why not Bordeaux? And the answer that I heard in that video was, it's this or it's that. And it really came down to this person's personal opinion. And I think that moving abroad is a big decision. And moving abroad, sometimes one of the reasons is so that you can be your own person, right? But to move to some place that somebody else wants to move to seems a little bit like it might not be the right thing. Well, at least not for me. It kind of ruffled my feathers a little bit. So what is the best country for you to move to? What is the best city for you to move to? Well, when I was attending Weight Watcher meetings regularly, the Weight Watcher leader would always respond to a question she'd get all of the time with this. The question was, what's the best exercise for me to do so that I can lose weight more quickly? And she'd always come back with, what exercise or activity do you enjoy doing? And if the person said tennis or if they said running, she would confirm, so you enjoy doing those things? And the person would say yes. The leader would come back and say, that's the activity, or those are the activities that you should do to help you lose weight. Because if you enjoy doing an activity, you're more likely to do the activity. And if you do the activity, you're more likely to get the results. So what's the best country for you to move to? What's the best city or town for you to move to? It's the one that you enjoy being in. When I chose Perpignan to move to, I had not known it. I did not know it at all. And it was a day trip. And when I set foot out of the train station and walked down that palm tree lined street, it was a feeling. I was like, I feel really good here. I think I could see myself living here. That was how it hit me. Now, not everybody has one of these aha moments that says, this is the place that I am going to be in. But certainly people have had experiences where they have gone to a place and immediately they know it's not their city. It doesn't feel right to them and they want to move on to the next one. That is really good information. And if you can see yourself living someplace, or if the place doesn't rub you the wrong way immediately, it may be in the running. All right. But for me, it was immediate. I knew this is a place where I feel free. This is a place where I want to be. Which is why, for me, it's so important not to necessarily listen to what somebody else enjoys or where somebody else wants to move to, because you're a different person from them. You have different ideas and you perceive and receive things in a different way. And so something that is great for your best friend might be miserable for you. Okay. So the best place for you to move is where you feel good, where you enjoy. Now, there are some other considerations that you may want to take into account. Cost of living tax structure are important things. For me, when I moved to France, I was not working and I was not thinking about those things. I thought about the cost of living and it seemed comparable to where I was in Richmond. And so I thought that's okay, but I didn't delve into the tax structure. And while taxes may be a little bit high here, you get a lot for what you pay for. And because I've started a business, I can adjust how much or how little I work so that I can have the amount of money that I need. Now, if you're retired, you might not have that luxury. So the cost of living, the tax structure may be really important to you. But in terms of somebody saying, oh, you should move here, but you shouldn't move there, beware. Now, why do people struggle so much with this topic? I speak to a lot of people, and I don't know, maybe half the time people know the country and they know the place within that country they want to move to because it's something that they've been dreaming about for years. The other half of the time, they might know the country, but they don't know the particular place within that country, or they might not know the country at all, and they may have a list of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 countries that they haven't narrowed down to yet. So why is it? Why is it that so many people struggle to make the decision as to where they want to move abroad? And it's a big decision. It's an important decision because once you decide that, then you can really get the wheels in motion to plan and prepare for your move abroad. And it's a big decision because, well, it's a move to a foreign country and it's going to take even more effort than moving to another state or another place within your current country. All right. These 3 things are my opinion, and there are probably more reasons around this. But one of the reasons that people struggle is because they have not visited a place enough times, or maybe they haven't visited at all. And I'm not saying that you can't move abroad to a place you've never been and not have success. I have a member of my program who has done exactly that, but she knew where she wanted to move to. If you're struggling to make a move abroad and you're not sure where, maybe you need to visit more places to get a sense and a feel for these places so that you can then narrow down to country and then scout out a city or a town at some point in the future, right? I think that's important. Many of the people I speak to say, I want to move to Italy or maybe Spain, but they haven't really figured it out. And I find that when I ask them, sometimes they haven't been. And I think that can be holding them back because you can't really get a feeling for a place. You can read and you can research, but you can't really get that feeling for that place until you have been there and been there for a little bit of time to get a sense. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, I think, is that people who move abroad want to move abroad for a number of different reasons, but they haven't necessarily drilled down as to why it's so important, why they're going to turn their lives upside down so completely to do this amazing thing. I think once you do drill down and know what it is you want to have, experience, be, or become when you're living in your foreign country, that can help inform a lot of things. If you want to move to a foreign country and you want to learn French, well, you don't want to go to Spain to do that, right? That was one of my big reasons. I wanted to become fluent in French. And so I considered Canada, but the weather there in the wintertime didn't suit me. And so I visited France and I could get a sense that France was my country. Came back 7 or 8 months later to do a scouting trip to find the place. And that's when I happened on Perpignan. So I knew I wanted to become fluent in French. I knew I wanted to write a second book. And I knew I wanted to be someplace that felt good to me. I didn't want to have the feeling of having a heavy weight over me. And when I was in Perpignan, I felt lighter. I felt freer. So knowing your why, what it is you want to experience in this new place on a deeper level can really help you to weed out some things that, or some places that other people may have said, or maybe you've considered, but once you really dig down into it, you realize that those things won't get you what you are looking for. All right. And then the third thing that holds people back from choosing a country, deciding and getting that clarity is that decisions are hard. And they're hard because we don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to make a bad decision, especially when it comes to moving to a foreign country. But the fact of the matter is, if you move to Perpignan, like I did, and a year later you are like, yes, this feels just about right, but it's not exactly the place for me, you can find another place. I did it. Now I'm just 40 minutes outside of Perpignan, so I think that my intuition or my gut instinct really guided me pretty well based on the criteria I was looking for. But if you're afraid to get it wrong and you have been looking and trying to decide on the country for years, it's time to get clear on what it is you want to experience. It's time to maybe venture out and visit and explore a little bit more. And it's time to make a decision and go with that decision and see how that works out for you. Because sometimes you need to be in that place that maybe isn't quite right so that you can explore the area around you more leisurely and get a sense of the place that's right for you. But you're not going to get that if you are in your current country, if you're staying in your current country and you have been trying to decide for years. So those are my thoughts on this subject. What other reasons do you think people struggle to decide on the country or the city they want to move to? Let me know in the comments. If you are considering a move abroad and you would like some help deciding where you want to move abroad, I do have a questionnaire that would be helpful because it asks some questions that you might not be thinking about asking yourself. And I'm going to put a link to that in the description of this video. Additionally, if you know where it is you want to move abroad and you've been thinking about this for a while, but don't feel like you're making the kind of progress you want, or maybe you want support in doing it because you're doing it all alone, then I'd love to have a conversation with you to see where it is you want to move and why, and what are the things that you struggle with most, so that we can see if our working together could help you make this move abroad more easily and more quickly. So check out the link to my calendar in the description where you can find a time for us to talk, and I can't wait to meet you. So that is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and check out these videos because I know you're going to like them. That's all I have for you today. Bye for now.